ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय
सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ
सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे
कुरु मे
देव
देव सर्वकार्येषु
सर्वकार्येषु
सर्वदा।
सर्वदा।
सरस्वती
सरस्वती
नमस्तुभ्यं
नमस्तुभ्यं
वरदे
वरदे
कामरूपिणि
कामरूपिणि
विद्यारम्भं
विद्यारम्भं
करिष्यामि
करिष्यामि
सिद्धिर्भवतु मे
भवतु मे
सदा।
सदा।
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः
महेश्वरः
गुरुः
गुरु
साक्षात्
साक्षात्
परं
परं ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म
तस्मै
तस्मै
श्री गुरवे
श्रीगुरवे
नमः।
नमः। ॐ
ॐ
सहना
सहना
भवतु
भवतु
सहनौ
भुनक्तु
भुनक्तु सह
सह
वीर्यं
वीर्यं
करवावहै
करवावहै तेजस्वी
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तमा विद्विषामहे। ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति
शान्ति शान्ति
शान्ति
शान्तिः।
शान्तिः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः।
अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि
गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः
गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः
अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा
अहङ्कारविबुधात्मा
कर्ताहमिति मन्यते।
कर्ताहमिति मन्यते।
विमूढात्मा, that is मूढः, aham iti manyate, I am the doer. When the karma is done by the gunas of the prakritehe gunaihi, gunas of the prakriti, the sharira manasangata, body does, mind does, senses do, but this person takes that I do, I am the doer. The doing of the sharira manasangata, the gunas of the prakriti, is taken to be oneself, superimposed on anatma, and therefore the person says aham atma karta iti, therefore vimuda, that's why deluded. Then the next shloka, whereas the one who knows tattva-vittu, tattvam janat vetti, knows of the truth, who knows the reality, truth, very clearly, they distinctly they understand, therefore the knower. Guna karma vibhaga yoga, tattvam janati, and also they know the guna and karma, the guna and the karma, the gunas of the prakriti and the karma of them, they know it very well. And gunaha guneshu vartante, gunaha guneshu vartante, gunas express, guna express through guna iti, knowing very well, they are not bound by the karma. They are not bound. They are not bound. They are not bound. Tattvavitu mahabaho guna karma vibhaga yoga, the distinction between the guna and karma. Knowing what is guna, what is the karma of the guna, they don't superimpose them on oneself. So therefore, iti, very clearly knowing, therefore, as sajjate, they are not bound. the knower of the truth of the gunas and the karma, not bound. Gunaha guneshu vartante, where the guna will be in guneshu. So, gunaha guneshu vartante. Gunaha means body, mind, sense complex. Body, mind, sense complex, they has its scope of expression in their area, in the respective area. So therefore, gunaha guneshu vartante. Gunas remain or gunas are active in the respective areas. Therefore, how can that to be myself? Iti matva, iti jnatva. Na sajjate, they are not bound. You'll see now. Why the wise are not attached to karma? Bhagavan says here. Tattvavitu mahabaho. Tattvavitu, tattvam janat. Knower of the truth. The knower of the truth. Guna karma vibhaga yogo, knowing very clearly the distinction. Vibhaga, distinction or division of this guna karma. Guna is body, mind, sense complex. Sharira manasangata. They are the guna. They are called guna here. Product of prakriti and the karma of the action. In fact, they themselves don't perform action. In the presence of me, the Atma, they perform action. And their performance also with respect to the relative, that the sphere, the areas. Since senses operate with the sense objects. Similarly, mind. Mind also operates within its sphere. Similarly, the body. The body is also another big sense organ. So they know very well that senses, mind, and the organs of action. Jnanendriyani, karmendriyani, and the mind. They engage himself, gunaha guneshu, with respective objects alone. Therefore, they are not bound. Jnanendriyani operate with shabda sparsha rupa rasa guna. The sense organ, there are sense objects. Similarly, karmendriya. Similarly, mind also. Therefore, they are active, they are busy in their respective areas of respective objects. So therefore, knowing very clearly the distinction between the body, mind, sense complex and the karma, and knowing the truth, so therefore, they are not bound. So therefore, bondage is notional. If I take myself to be the doer, then I am bound. Atma aham na karta navavati. So distinctly understand the tattvam, therefore tattva vittu, and also very clearly understanding the tattvam from the guna, tattvam from the actions performed by the guna. Atma is not body, mind, sense complex, but body, mind, sense complex is Atma. And the karma done by the body, mind, sense complex in the presence of Atma is not the karma done by the Atma. Iti jnatva, they are not bound. In this shloka, Bhagavan Krishna contrasted the jnani with the ajnani. Previous shloka, ajnani. This shloka, jnani. The jnani with the ajnani mentioned in the previous shloka. The ignorant takes a body, mind, sense complex, karya karana sanghata as oneself, and oneself to be the karya karana sanghata. Therefore, there is a anyonya, that abhimana. Body, mind, sense complex is myself and I am the body, mind, sense complex. Therefore, no distinction is made between me, the Atma, and the karma karya sanghata. This is ajnani. So by no distinction, making no distinction between the two. This lack of discrimination is where the ahankara, the individuality, comes from, which makes one seem unique and distinct. Jnani, on the other hand, while taking the body, mind, sense complex as himself or herself, no doubt, but doesn't take self to be the body, mind, senses. Body, mind, senses is Atma, it is myself, but I am not the body, mind, senses. There's a difference. The B is A, but A is not B. The actor performs the role of the beggar. The beggar is the actor, but actor is not the beggar. In fact, actor is a rich man. He gets money for the role he plays in the drama. So the actor plays the role of the beggar. The actor A performing the role of the beggar B. Therefore, B is nothing but A is not B. Similarly, Body mind sense complex is Atma, but Atma is not body mind sense complex alone. Therefore, if the Jnani were not identified with the body mind sense complex in this way, talking, walking, seeing, hearing, and thinking would not be possible. So, the body mind sense complex not that, then he cannot do all. Therefore, since the Jnani thinks, does action, so on, he or she naturally has an Ahankara. Here, the Ahankarya Kana Sangata is called, Karya Kana Sangata Atma is being called Ahankara. The nature of delusion, both the Ajnani and the Jnani have this Ahankara. The difference between the two being that the Jnani doesn't take Atma to be Karyakara Sangata, whereas Ajnani takes, which is why there is samsara for him. So, therefore, Jnani as well as Ajnani both have Sharira, both enjoy the Sharira, perform karma to the Sharira, but Jnani knows that as Atma I don't do, whereas Ajnani, taking himself to be the Karyakara Sangata, he thinks I am the doer. Therefore, he is samsari bound. Samsara is there, samsara is in the self, for the self. Because Atma is taken to be the Karyakara Sangata Atma, there are individuals, each of whom is unique and distinct from every other individual. Thus, there is an as though division and as though duality, Dvaita. Shruti doesn't say that there is Dvaita. It only says there is as though Dvaita. Dvaitam iva bhavati. Wherever there is this as though iva, duality, there is death, mrityu, there is time, there is samsara. The Jnani is referred to as Tattvavita in the shloka. Tva is added to a noun to convey its abstract sense, its essence, Tattvam. For example, the truth or the essence of a pot, Gatasya Tattvam, becomes Gatatva, potness, the ness, the quality. In English, the suffix ness is used in the same way. Potness, cleverness, allness, completeness, wholeness. So the ness, so therefore it is essence. That is a noun, and as such can stand for anything. Thus, Tattva refers to that which is the essence or the truth of everything. Tasya Bhavaha. The one who knows the truth about oneself, the world, and God is called Tattvavit. Tattvam, Tattvavodaha. Tasya Bhavaha Tattvam. Tattvam Janati. Tattvam Veti. Tattvavit. The one who knows the truth is called Tattvavit, and the one who doesn't know this truth is called Atattavit. In this shloka, Tattvavit refers to one who knows the truth of the gunas, the modification, that is, the body mentions complex, as well as the karmas, meaning that the person can distinguish between the two. The distinction, vivaha here, is that body mentions complex is an instrument, karana. It is not atma. The atma is not the karana, the sense organs or the mind, or the karya, the physical body. While the mind and senses perform their actions, they are only karanas, instruments. Karana meaning instruments, not karana. Atma is not an instrument. It is the self, the content of the subject, the doer. It is myself. Therefore, a distinction is to be made between the essence of the subject and the instrument. Instrument is me, but I am not the instrument. The subject and its instruments. The subject cannot be taken as an instrument because the instrument being wielded by the subject is necessarily the hands of the subject. You are handling the body, you are handling the mind and the senses. The subject cannot be taken as a very thing that handles, just as you cannot take the spoon or fork that you eat with as yourself. That you are holding the fork in your hand doesn't mean that the fork is you. It is simply an instrument that you wield. Similarly, you wield your mind and senses. You operate them. You wield your physical body. You operate it. Therefore, they are merely instruments. And the doership imputed to Atma is simply a thought belonging to the mind, a thought of the mind. It's a notion, a jnana. The one who knows the Karana as the Karana and Atma as Atma, that is Guna Karma Vibhaga, as it is the one who knows the truth of both. So Guna Karma Vibhaga Yoga, clearly understanding the distinction between Guna and Karma, as it is. Action doesn't come from Atma, it emanates from the Gunas, from the Karya Karana Sangata. For this, that is from the body, mind, senses alone. Any fancy or desire is a modification of the mind, Vritti Rupam. It's a function of the mind. But you may not go along with the desire or fancy. Many desires arise and fall simply because we don't bother about them. This happens because of a particular function of the mind that enables me to decide whether to go along with the desire or not. In such a decision, that there are various considerations, pragmatic and ethical considerations, among others. Is this necessary for me? Is a pragmatic consideration taken by the Atma in the form of Buddhi. The organs of action or the sense organs, you perform karma. Whatever you do, eat, walk, or engage yourself in any kind of pursuit, some sense organ is involved. The truth of this karma, however, is that Atma is not directly involved in activity. In the presence of Atma, they do action. Therefore, Atma is not directly involved. Like in the presence of sunlight, action happens, but sun is not the karta. Atma is not a desire or decision, nor does it desire or make decision. Desires and decisions are always in the form of vritti, the modifications of the mind. So it is of the mind only. These vrittis are no doubt. These vrittis are Atma, no doubt, but Atma is none of them. Be is A, but A is not B. Thus, all karma emanates from the modifications of the mind, vrittis only, but doesn't come from the Atma. Everything is a modification of Prakriti alone. The one who knows the nature of karma and the nature of Atma, and therefore the distinction between the two, looks upon Prakriti as it really is. Prakriti, also called Maya, in its entirety is the cause for everything, in that it modifies itself into everything. Maya is a karanam, material cause for the srishti. So everything has come from Maya. In terms of material, Maya is a karanam. Maya is the karanam. And the handler of the Maya is Ishvara. So Ishvara handles the Maya. And through that, the srishti has come. Therefore, everything is the product of Maya. So Prakriti, also called Maya, is a cause for everything. The body, mind, senses are Prakriti. And sense objects, the world, Jagat, they are also Prakriti. Everything is Prakriti. That which is separate from Atma, not really separate. That which is not Atma is Prakriti. But Prakriti and Purusha in Sankhya, they are different. But in Advaita, it is not different. In fact, Prakriti doesn't exist apart separately from Purusha. So Prakriti is a karanam, is the reason for this Jagat, consisting of the objects, etc., including our body, mind, senses. So therefore, all the gunas, all our modifications, gunas, they are Prakriti alone, only Prakriti. And these two Prakritis are in touch with each other. One Prakriti is Karya Karana Prakriti, that is in the form of Karya and Karana, instruments and action. Karya, action, Karana, instrument. Karya Karana Prakriti in the form of instruments, and in the form of instruments of perception and action. Other Prakriti in the form of objects. So Karya Karana Prakriti and Vishayatmaka Prakriti. Karya Karana Prakriti, that is Karana, the instrument for which the objects are required. The objects are Vishayas. So therefore Vishaya. Sense organs and the sense objects. In other words, sense organs and sense objects. Sense organs, one Prakriti. Sense objects, another Prakriti. So in Karya Karana Sangata, the Karana is that Karana Prakriti. Other one is Vishaya Prakriti, Vishayatmaka Prakriti. So Karana, the Indriyani, and Vishaya, sense objects. Indriyani engages with Indriya Vishaya. Indriyani Indriyarteshu Vartante. Let the Indriya engage with the Indriya Vishaya. But what is their Atma to do? Atma cannot be the enjoyer of or the doer of Indriya Vishaya through Indriyas. Through the Indriyas are illumined. The Indriyas are illuminated by the Atma, in the presence of which Indriyas perform the action of knowing the Indriya Vishaya and acting on it through Karma Indriya. Therefore, the Prakriti, Karana Prakriti and Vishayatmaka Prakriti. This verse explains that the guna in the form of instruments of perception and action, that is gunaha, guneshu, engage themselves in activity, the spheres of the respective object, guneshu, shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha, vishayeshu, objects. This means I is the karanam that engage themselves in the sphere of forms, rupa, the forms being the guna. Sight itself is guna. The seen object also is guna. The sight, the eyes perceives the form or the color. So the form or the color of the objects is guna, and the instrument eye also is guna. Therefore, guna, eye engages in perceiving the rupa guna of the sense objects. So therefore, guna engage themselves in guna. Similarly, hearing is guna, and the objects heard, the sounds are also guna. In this way, gunas, guneshu, with reference to objects, vartante, engage themselves in activity. This means I don't perform any action at all. Knowing this, the wise person is not bound. Matva, nyatva, na sajjate. But this guna, guneshu, vartante, that is in the presence of indriya, in the presence of atma. In the presence of atma, it happens. Minus atma cannot function because they are jada. So, therefore, like in the presence of sunlight, the action happens. Sunlight cannot be held responsible for the karma, for the action. Similarly, here also, in the presence of Atma, the action happens. The action, the engagement, the transaction of the Indriyani, sense organs with the Indriya Vishaya. Therefore, knowing the truth of Atma and Karma, the Tattvavid doesn't become attached to any karma. Karma is guneshu vartante. Therefore, Atma, knowing the truth of Atma, that is Tattvam, the Tattvavid, the knower, is not bound by the karma of the karmendriyas. Karma of the karmendriyas or manaha or body. Karya karma sangata. Such attachment is not possible between the person knows that he or she does nothing. To become attached, there must be a vritti, which is non-separate from Atma. While Atma is free from any vritti. Vritti is thoughts of the mind. Thoughts of the mind are illumined by Atma. In the presence of Atma, they come to light. So, vritti is because of Atma, but Atma is not because of vritti. It is. Therefore, Atma is free from vritti, any vritti. Because there is no connection, no attachment between the vritti and Atma, there can be no attachment to any karma for one who knows that Atma is always free. Vritti has a dependency on Atma, but Atma doesn't have dependency on vritti. Therefore, who am I? Atma or vritti? If I identify myself with the vritti, then I become a samsari, anatma. Whereas the Atma, is free from vritti. So vritti comes and goes in the presence of me, but I am not the vritti. Therefore, iti matva na sajjate, not attached by the type of vritti, the form of vrittis. Therefore, there can be no attachment to any karma for one who knows that Atma is always free. That is, for the one who knows that Atma is asangaha. A problem arises when you say that you must become asangaha, detached. You don't become asangaha. That your asanga is a fact to be known. Yes, when you become asangaha, it's a problem, but the truth is you are asangaha. Taking yourself to be a sangi, attached, that is not the fact, it is untruth. It is that which is not a fact, taken to be a fact. Agam, always agam asangaha. Taking myself to be a sangha is a lie. So therefore, I don't become asangaha. Asangaha is the fact. It is a siddha vishya. It is what the truth is, the reality is. Taking myself to be a sangi, that's a problem. Therefore, there is no becoming here. If you're asanga, you're asanga. Not that you're sangi, and then you want to become asanga. Therefore, there is no becoming here. Wanting to become asangaha, wanting to become asamsari, wanting to become, want to get moksha. In fact, there is no becoming here. Because you are always as you are. You cannot become anything so that you can unbecome. So therefore, any becoming is samsara. Because you are as you are. You cannot fall from what you are. Your truth, that is why Tvam, your essence, your nature. Your nature is Atma, consciousness, Chaitanyam. How can Chaitanyam become bound or become attached? Chaitanyam cannot become anything. Chaitanyam is as it is. In the presence of which everything happens. Sakshi. Therefore, you can never become detached. You can never become attached. Therefore, you can never become detached. Then the attachment is for what? It is only for the Karya Karna Sangata, that is the mind. It's only for the mind. In fact, it's only for the mind. The mind, it takes himself to be attached because of not knowing. Therefore, the person also considers himself to be a Sangi. So it is because of the mind. Therefore, the mind has to be educated. Therefore, the knowledge is required, not for the Atma, but for the mind. What knowledge? Agam Atma Purnaha Samsari, the nature of me. That is why Shastram. That is why Shastra teaching. Teaching by through the Shastram, you get knowledge, and the knowledge knocks off the wrong knowledge, ajnanam of the mind. Therefore, therefore, the teaching or the knowledge is not for the Atma. Atma is not going to be illuminated. It is ever free, it is ever illuminated. But illumination is only for the ajnani, the person who takes himself to be this Karyapana Sanjata. So it is it's really it's really a magic how this chit and jada, how this consciousness and jada, they are mixed up, and the consciousness, the atma is taken to be this body mind sense complex. That is really that which is not possible is made possible. That ajnanam can do. Ajnana, the shakti, the power, that is the power, the shakti. So therefore, the effort is involved in only making the mind aware of the fact that it is that it is that Atma is free. So it is only that therefore the knowledge is only for the teaching is only for the person who has abhimana with this karikara sangata, abhimana with the vritti of the mind. So in the mind, whatever the vritti comes, if the vritti has got sangha attachment, it takes himself to be that or attached to that. That vritti itself is illumined by the Atma. So in the presence of Atma only all the vrittis come. Instead of taking oneself to be that which is the adhisthana, the adhara of all the vritti, he takes himself to be the vritti. So when he thinks, he becomes the thinker because the mind thinks, thinker. The mind thinks, therefore I am thinker. But the mind thinks and the thoughts are there. Thoughts are because of what? That is me, Atma. One thought comes, goes away, another thought comes. All the thoughts, they are held or they are manifested in the presence of Chitta, Chaitanya, that is me. So That Chitta, Chaitanyam, Aham doesn't change. Thoughts change. Therefore, how can I be the thoughts? How can I be a doer, a thinker, a knower, a walker, a talker? So this ER is a problem. Therefore, there is no attachment for the Atma, there is no detachment for the Atma. It is only for the person who takes Atma to be this Karya Karana Sangata. Therefore, you can never be attached, you can never be attached. Therefore, teaching is for whom? For Atma or for the person? Teaching is not for the Atma, it is for the person who has this Abhimana with identification with the body, mind, sense complex. If Atma is to be taught, then Atma again can become samsari. Again, it will can become samsari because Atma is to be taught. Therefore, it is not Atma requires his knowledge. It is the person requires the knowledge. The person, when we say, is Atma plus this body, mind, sense complex. That is a person, Jivaha. The Swarupam of Jiva is Atma. So when he knows that Aham Atma, and therefore this Sayamana Sangata is dismissed as not real. So when that knowledge comes, he becomes detached, never becomes attached. So what you want to be detached from is always in your head. Yes, it's always in your head. Therefore, you can never detach from it. Even when you say you're detached from it, you're already attached because you're talking about it. The person who throws away some garbage and says, I gave away my garbage, but still the garbage is it's in his or her head. Therefore, the garbage was outside, now it is inside. This is exactly how we have collected so much garbage. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Oh, this paragraph we will read and then we can stop. As the nature of Atma, detachment is already an accomplished fact. Atma is ever asangaha. Knowing this one is not bound. Knowing this, aham atma iti, knowing one is not bound, na sajjate. But if the person wrongly understands that aham karya karan sangata, then he becomes attached. Then the person becomes attached. Therefore, the person looks upon himself or herself as a non-doer, akarta aham asmi, actionless itself. So Atma can never do action. Previously, Krishna said that by not performing action, a person doesn't gain aishkarmya, the state of actionlessness. Knowing the Atma, self to be free from any type of action, the doership is not there, karma, katrutvam not there. When there is no doership, no karma. Even when the person does karma, there is no karma for that person because no doership. In this sense, knowing that there is no doership, a person is free from all karma. In spite of doing, is free from karma. This then is a difference between Attavit and Atatvavit. We'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada.